Okay, guys. We got it. We got it. We're good. It should be okay now. I know it's not the best. I think we just have to get some different lighting in here from behind the camera now instead of on both sides coming in. But we're good. So let's slice these up. So 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. I'm gonna go 1/4 inch just so we can get more slices. Man, these smell good. So these are Meyer lemons. So it's a mix between a mandarin and a lemon. So I'm gonna put this one down since it's gonna be hard for me to get an even slice. So hold it down and then just take your knife. Just keep your fingers on the very top and go through it like that. And then we'll do that one more time just for the last little bit. And that way we don't waste too much, just that little bit. Just take the little lemon butt off. Okay, there's those. So that can go in the compost. And now, the easy part. So now you just want to lay out all of your lemon slices in nice little rows. I would say you probably don't want them really touching at all. That way they'll dry out more evenly. So that's that. Fill out just over 1/2 a tray. And that can go into the dehydrator. Shiggity. And so our next little project, make that up. Hey, Norges. We're back. Oh, don't be sorry, Sammy. Just a day in the life of a streamer. Things can't always be perfect. If they were, that'd be just too easy. Hey, Dirt Bay, how are ya? Okay, so we want to cut a piece of parchment to just fit in under our mesh screen there. Try not to waste too much. That'll be good. I might just have to trim it a bit with some scissors just so it can fit underneath. And that way it won't curl up. And the dehydrator, the trays pack really tight. So we also want to be aware of that because if anything kind of hangs over, the tray is just not going to fit in. So if I line that up, I need to cut a little bit here. You missed dehydrating your herbs. Yes, Dirt. Well, how come you're not dehydrating them anymore? Now this side, Line it back up. We're back, Annie. Back and ready to rumble. You don't work in the industry anymore. Now when you dabble in herbs, it's all personal. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, right, and dog. I think that's the only thing that's kind of messing with the autofocus. Is just the lighting is way too dark over here, like, because my monitor is obviously right in front. And so that just completely blocks out any light. So I need something from behind, because that doesn't look good at all. And then the light above me does not help at all either. So we'll figure it out. Okay, so there's that. All nicely put together. That way we have a little barrier so nothing drips down. You're having traveling feet, so you can't sleep. Hee hee. One more Kate stream before leaving for work. Yes, Norges. I have like not really been having the greatest sleeps lately. Lots of tossing and turning. But I feel like it's just because I've been drinking more coffee over the holidays. You know how it is. Norges, I'm using your lamb in the gnocchi tonight. I think it's gonna be really good. Okay, so just have a little spatula here to help kind of just squish on this pepper paste. So it's literally just pureed peppers that were put in a 1% brine and then left to ferment. So this pepper paste is fermented. Still really, really spicy, I will say that, guys. And there's definitely no reason for us to throw it out. It's gonna be awesome, I think, as a dried spice component instead. And I'm just drying it because I don't know how long this will last in the fridge. So to kind of preserve it further, we're gonna dry it. That way we can always rehydrate if we want it. But we know that way. It totally looks like a pile of poop. But it won't go bad on us. As you sit down to a cup of coffee, yes, dirtbag. I had some coffee this morning before I walked into Costco. It was ultimate havoc in there. So while you're spreading this, you just want to make sure that you get one nice even layer. That way it'll all dry at around the same time and temp. Yeah, plus the holidays always distorts my sleep schedule. It's true. Plus the other day I worked like 13 hours at work without really sitting down. So I feel like when I push my body like that, it always kind of goes into overdrive and is like, okay, what's next? Let's do this. And it's like, no, no, no. You need to chill out a little bit, please. A live lamb stream, except it's already cooked, Norges. So I'm just going to be reheating it is the only thing. It was rotisserie, dirtbag. So we did it in the Ronco last week. And then had about half of it left over. So I vac packed it. I'm going to heat it up in the circulator. Nice low and slow for a couple hours. And I think it's going to turn out really nice and tender and juicy still. Okay, this is looking good. Just gonna try and even it out a little bit more before I put this into the dehydrator. And I don't know if the dehydrator has an 18-hour timer on it. That's the only thing. So you might have to do like 9 and 9. But the only thing is you want to make sure that it still runs at night when you're sleeping. So make sure that you set it for enough time to keep going until you can check it in the morning. You don't want stuff to just kind of sit in there at room temp because that's how bacteria likes to breed. What did I get for Christmas? Hey, Thunder, how are you? I'm roasting a live lamb. In dog. It's outside in the garden. Now we could probably do a deer, a venison one day. I thought so, Dirtbag. Imagine a barbecue sauce made from this. So what did I get for Christmas? I got 3 cookbooks. I got this new cutting board, the new camera that's on the cutting board, as well as the stove. What else? Some of the capture cards for the camera for stream. So like lots of stream upgrade stuff, which I'm totally okay with. You guys invest in me, I might as well invest in you. Aw, Norges, don't even be sorry. It's totally okay. And plus the best part is you can come back and watch it. Annie, your dad uses a Google Wi-Fi puck to set timers. What? You wanted to see if he could have 2 timers at once. When he gave the command, it gave him a second timer with 1 second duration. Wow. Okay, so this is going into the dehydrator. I would love to show you it, but it is large and in charge. It's about half the size of me. So just believe me when I say that I'm going to turn it on to 135F is the heat setting for 18 hours. Okay, guys, I'm here. We are all right. No, 135 Fahrenheit. Gonna be dry as F. Yeah, Fahrenheit, Norges. Okay. Oh, the moment of truth. Plugging it in. The excitement. Yeah, I'm right here. Oh shit, it was already on. Except this is gonna be in the way, isn't it? Isn't it, guys? Oh goodness. Wow, the timer goes up to 26 hours. And it's already pumping out smoky pepper smells. Yay for cord. I'm sorry, that's the only place I can plug it in though. What is this Fahrenheit we're talking about? Okay, so that's going. I might be able to move this a little bit. Yep. Just unsticking some tape. I don't know if that makes it worse or better. Yay! Success! Yes! No Fahrenheit invited. Wow. Wow, Norges. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of our vegetable prep now. Since all we have to do is roast them. So I'm gonna do 2 of these little guys, I think. Because I think they're gonna cook down and not be that much by the end. These look awesome, don't they? So we gotta season those up. And then we gotta cut the acorn squash up. Nice little bite-sized pieces. And we're gonna roast both of those things at 450 Fahrenheit in the oven. So really nice and high temp, because we want to get a bunch of color onto here really quickly. And we also want to cook it quickly. That way, cook perfectly and still have a little bit of bite in the center, but we still get that nice kind of caramelization happening on the outside. So really nice high heat on the roast today. But first, we have to think about our crispy cheese. So if you guys remember from earlier, the crispy cheese bakes at a lower temp. So while I'm kind of prepping the cabbages, why don't I turn on the oven to heat up to 275 for the crispy cheese, because that's going to be done before we roast our vegetables, because it's going to have to cool off. We might have to blot a little bit of fat out of it as well. So oven on to 275 Fahrenheit, nice and low. And then I'll set up one of these pans for the cabbage and the squash. We'll put some parchment down. And then the other pan needs a silicone sheet if you have it. One of these guys. It's called a Silpat, or this one is called Valesco. I think it was around $20 for 2 of these, and they work really good for this kind of stuff. But if you don't have one, I think parchment would work just fine. Crispy cheese, dirtbag. Throwing it back. Ugh, love it. 2019, the year of throwbacks. Okay, so like I said, I already kind of washed these up earlier. So a lot of bugs like to hide in between all the leaves, obviously. That would make sense. And then we still have a couple of little Brussels sprouts there on the bottom that I kept on. So those should roast up nicely. And then I think all I really want to do is just brush them with some olive oil and some nice salt and pepper. Maybe I'll get one of the flavored salts out. And then we're just going to roast it. I don't think it needs much more than that. Throwback Wednesday. You mean way back Wednesday, Annie. Throwback Thursday. Bugs. Extra protein. Yeah, we love those aphids. Yeah, exactly. If there was any in there, which I don't think there are anymore. I was pretty thorough. Oh, there might be a couple still. They're definitely dead. But yeah, extra protein. We'll be all right. One with the environment, let's say. Let's grab some olive oil. So, as I'm prepping these, I'm kind of thinking about why we never see these in the store. Obviously, every single Brussels sprout plant has this, but why don't they sell it at the end of the season? Because to me, this is very usable. Hey, Epic. Welcome in. How are you doing? The stream audio seems lower. The Yeti is on the same as always. So Dirtbag, this is what is at the top of the Brussels sprout plant. So this is like the core of the plant. So you can see where I cut it off, and then that's how the plant grows, is these leaves, they get longer and bigger, and then the Brussels sprouts grow in between every leaf. Seems normal. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a nice drizzle of olive oil kind of all throughout the leaves to start, and then we'll give them a nice little massage. You just picked up some Brussels sprouts right before you got home. Yeah, I still have some that we can cook up. Maybe next week. We'll see how long they last, but the last picking from my garden, which we did on Christmas Day. I know you're Canadian when. So having everything nicely coated in oil will ensure a nice even roast. No kind of burning anywhere. So you literally want to just get a nice little rub down there. A good little massage. Obviously using your hands, you'll be able to feel a lot better. So there's that one. Should be nice and shiny, guys. And then that's also going to help for your seasoning to stick on. So next one, you can see all this oil that's dripping out. We need to get back onto there. Saute up with some mushrooms, bacon, and green beans. That sounds like a good combo, Dirtbag. I don't know if I've ever had Brussels sprouts with mushrooms, but that would be good. Two things that are really nice and earthy. And obviously bacon is good anytime with any sort of cabbage. And green beans? Why not? Can't hurt ya. Okay, so there's that. Let's get our salt and pepper. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Get this oil off. You guys heard the oven beep, so it's ready for the cheese whenever. And then the cheese is gonna take about half an hour to crisp up. So I think we'll put that in before we start to prep the squash. Can you guys hear the dehydrator in the background? Yes! You looked at your oven. Success. Yeah, it's been a while since that happened. So I'm gonna see what kind of salt I'm feeling, guys. I think I wanna go with, let's do some fancy salts today. So rosemary sage infused. See if this, it's too dark here for you guys to even see. So this is a locally made salt. They gather the seawater from the ocean here, and they use organic herbs to mix into it once it's been dried. So rosemary sage with the squash. Squash and herbs is always really good. And then this one's gonna be weird for you guys. But like cabbagey things and cheese is really good. And obviously we're doing crispy cheese as a garnish. So I'm going to use this blue cheese sea salt from another different salt company on Vancouver Island. So we have Salt West and Vancouver Island Salt Company. So I'm gonna use the blue cheese salt on our Brussels sprouts. I think that's gonna be really good. Yeah, salt and spice blend. Exactly, Dirtbag. And I have the Salt West link on my channel page if you guys want to check them out. You can definitely buy their stuff online from their store. I'm not sure about the Vancouver Island. Ah, spilling the salt everywhere. And I would love to do another giveaway with these coming up this year. But you can see how this salt is kind of cakey when you take it out. So you can tell that it's like still very humid here, is they can't actually draw all of the moisture out. So you just have to be careful kind of how you sprinkle it to make sure that it's all spread out. Otherwise you might get really salty kind of pockets without trying to. And by all means, guys, you could also just use plain salt and pepper. which I typically go to. But these guys are sitting around, so might as well play around with them. You never know, it could be a really, really good combo. Playing with your food, yeah! So I just kind of want to get in between all of these layers. And obviously we can always add more salt later once it's been cooked. But we can't take it away. Okay, I'm just gonna finish with a little bit of cracked pepper. Oh, I made a mess with that. Salt everywhere. And I've tried this salt before. It's not the first time me using it. It's not like super blue cheesy, but you definitely get a funk. Like you can tell something is funky in there, but I don't know if you would be able to tell that it's blue cheese. Basilicum salt. You need to play with your salt too. Yes, Norges. Plus, that helps you play around with different flavor combinations as well. What do you think, guys? Should we roast these the other way? Should we flip them upside down? Or maybe do like half and half? Because obviously they're wanting to fall to one side. But what if we roast them this way? I wonder what would happen. Would it crisp up the same? Maybe we'll start them that way so we can get a nice browning color on the underside and then flip it about halfway through. Oh yeah, American. Roast cabbage. Multiple police units arrived at a property on Wednesday morning after a neighbor heard a child's piercing screams and a man repeatedly yelling, "Why don't you die?" Fearing the worst, officers responded to the incident only to find a man had simply been trying to kill a spider. Oh my god. Epic. I can so see that happening. I thought maybe they're gonna walk into the dad and the kid playing video games. That was the other scenario that I thought would play out. It's true. It's true. Australia has some crazy spiders. I don't think I could live there. Just a humble cook. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, Brussels balls. That's what we got going on. Okay, put this aside. I have to go grab some Parmesan. My wonderful people. Just from the other side, from the fridge. We're going to be using the fine side of the box grater. And I'm doing today a mix of Asiago and Parmesan. So a little bit of a different flavor combination. And both are pretty salty. Need coffee. Australia is nature's way of saying it hates you. Okay, be right back, guys. The whole house almost smells like smoked peppers already from the dehydrator. Okay, so we got some parm. 2-year-old aged parm. Thank you, Costco, for that. Parmigiano Reggiano. Oh, Norges. Facts with Norges store. Cook sounds like cook in Norwegian, and that means penis. Sorry. What? You know what? I have to laugh at that. As cooks, of course we laugh at that. Anytime there's like an innuendo that is related to cooking, that's our little bit of entertainment for the day, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna do about half and half of the Parm and Asiago. So let's start grating. Maybe we'll get about a cup shredded of each. Just a humble cook. Do you work in the industry? Or you just love to cook at home? Why does my arm look? Guys, I'm turning into the Hulk as I grate the cheese. My arm is turning green. What is going on? You know what, Need Coffee? I can't eat the samples anymore. There's no time. There's only one Costco for the whole city or like the whole area where we live on the island, and it's always so crazy. So I usually just let the swarms of people take the samples, and that way I can just like whip around them with the buggy and get in and out within 20 minutes. Sometimes I sample though, if it's like popcorn or maybe cheese, but not today. Been really good. That's what your pedicures sound like? Ugh, bad. Professional chef in LA, that's amazing. How long you been cooking for? Okay, so Cheese Mountain, #1. Just move that over. Move on over. I think that's a little more than a cup. That might be 2 cups, but that's all right. We're gonna use some fresh grated and also the crispy cheese for garnish. Get a little contrast of both. Well, it's true. Need Coffee. Like, that's how you kind of know. If it's like, if someone understands what you mean when you ask them, do you work in the industry? If they don't know what it means, then they for sure don't work in the industry. But humble cook for sure does. 12 years. Sweet. I'm a grizzled vet. I'm going on 8+ years now. Can't believe it, to be honest. Okay, guys. Ugh. I don't know. Is there really a better feeling than busting in to a fresh piece of cheese? Asiago is another cheese that I really, really enjoy. Just because of how it tastes when it's aged. I like the little salt crystals that you get from it. It's kind of got this like sweet and salty thing going on. So let's get into this. This is a dangerous cheese for me to have around. I feel like I might just keep cutting pieces off of it. So good. Nothing like putting on wool socks when your feet are cold. Yes. Yum, yum. Okay. Let's cut off a chunk. Maybe like this. So you can see it's a little bit softer than Parm. It doesn't crumble right away. Got a little bit more give. It's obviously not aged as long, so there's still some moisture in there. Let's do this. Oh! The cheese is running away. You got a few homemade knit and woolen socks at Christmas every year. Nice, Norges. Yeah, Sam's mom sent us each 2 pairs of slippers. We had no slippers left. She sacrificed having slippers this year so that we could have fresh knitted slippers for Christmas. Perfect. And it was funny because she said that she didn't have time to knit any, and then we opened up the package. It's like, of course there's slippers in there. Hey Davey, how are ya? And so the thing with the crispy cheese, guys, so if you can notice, I'm shredding the cheese on the finest side of the box grater because you need it to be that fine in order for it to crisp up properly. You don't want to use the regular side because it's just going to get too hard almost. You need it to be quite delicate. And I think the more fine your strands of cheese are, the more crispy it's going to get. Happy New Year, Davey. Yes. Yeah, we can still say that. We're still in the first week of January. Everyone's hopefully enjoying the new year. Okay, Cheese Mountain, number 2. Yum. So now, you guys ready for this? I'm gonna do a little cheese mixing. You want it combined, nice and even. Then we're gonna put a little bit aside for our fresh cheese garnish later. And the rest we'll sprinkle onto our silicone sheet. Relaxing all day, nice. I'm gonna, well, hoping to relax tomorrow a little bit more. Today was big grocery shopping day and a little bit of house cleanup for me. And now I'm here, so hopefully tomorrow I can get a little bit more me time in. Costco was crazy today, guys. So about half a cup I left for the garnish. Is the Costco lineup in the store, halfway through down the store. It was insane. But honestly, it didn't take that long. I was pretty impressed with how quick it flowed. You want a Costco pizza now. We had pizza last night for dinner. Need coffee. It was good. Just a humble cook. Thanks for the host. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Been stressing around all day to get ready to leave. Norges, have you told us where you're going? Where are you going for this trip? Okay, so now we want to spread this out. You want a layer thick enough so that you just see the bottom of the tray or the bottom of the silicone sheet peeking through. So it's going to be piled probably a good 1/2 inch high. So just kind of spread it out. Use your scraper. You don't want any edges that are too loose because those might burn. Work. You're going fishing. Sweet. What do you think you're going to catch, Norges? A month or 2, not sure. Whew. He's going to sea. 1 month off, 1 off. Or one on, 1 off. That's an all right schedule. That's not bad at all. Okay, there we go. You don't have to make it all perfect and square, guys. It's just not a thing. So that is ready to go. I think you can tell kind of how thick I have it. So that's going to go into the oven now. It's set at 275 Fahrenheit. And what I typically do is do kind of 15-minute timers, and then you rotate the tray, do another 15 minutes, and then you'll have to start watching it closer near the end. Do maybe 3 or 4 minute increments on the timer at a time until it looks like it's nice golden and crispy and holding together as well. Herring and then cod when the season starts. Oh, amazing, dude. Smoked herring. It's true, Annie. Does it get better? I don't know. So, 15 minutes. See if I can scrape this clean. That's that. Let me put these 2 cheeses away. This one, just put away into the fridge for later. You don't want it to warm up too much before we serve our food. So that can stay in the fridge. And then the Asiago, just gonna wrap up nice and tight. You don't want really any air to get to that. People with month on and off usually have a very hard or stressful job. Yep. That is the truth. Yeah, I looked at working like camp jobs like that in the oil field. I don't think that would be for me, if I'm being honest. But if you enjoy the work, then it can't be that bad, right? You can be so sick of it sometimes. Yeah, the people in the boat. No wonder some people drink. I believe it, man. Hello, Anchovy Shoeman. How are you? Okay, now we're getting into our acorn squash. Fish wish. Fish wishy squashy. Ooh, almost forgot the Parmesan out. So, I've been taught a good way to tell if your squash is ripe is if it has the stem on it, if that comes off easily, the squash should be ripe to eat. So that came off pretty easily, so I think we're good. Even though it's still green, I guess it's gonna be good enough to go. I'm just gonna wash up the outside since we're gonna be using the skin today. Otherwise, if you're gonna peel it, I don't think you have to wash it first. Yeah, Annie, the new cameras. That's awesome, Anchovy. I'm glad you found us. Okay, let's get into this. So first things first, just gonna cut off that little nub there. And then I think we're just gonna go right in half. So I'm gonna try and cut in between 2 of those kind of crevices so you don't mess with that for our presentation. And then you get something that looks like that. And so we're gonna scrape out all the seeds and the pulp. And actually, first things first is we need to start heating up the circulator so that we can get our lamb in there and cooking. So if I turn this over here, so I'm going over there to the Anova. Annie, gifting the tier 1 sub to Anchovy. Thank you so much, man. 37 gifted subs. You're crazy. Anchovy, you're addicted. New to Twitch since Sunday. Nice. Oh no, Norges. Seriously? RIP for sure. Don't do anything. Just a sec. Don't you touch it. Again. I literally just checked it the other day. And for some reason, it's hard for me to gift them a sub. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like when I put in my post code to do it, it doesn't want to let me do it. It says invalid country of residence is what I get. The struggle with Stream Elements. Okay. Plug this in. We are sitting at 70.4 and we want 125 Fahrenheit. So press play. Let's see how long that's gonna take to heat up. So what is it, 6:15 now? I'm gonna say maybe 15 minutes. Annie, don't do that. That's my thing to do, not yours. But thank you so much. You're bad. Yeah, it's not even a valid country, Canada. It's all lies. Lies, I tell you. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea why it does that when I try to gift Stream Elements a sub. These squash smell very squashy. They've got like a funk to them. It's a strong smelling squash. Like this has more blue cheesy smell than the salt. But I could also just be smelling the cheese that's kind of been melted into the cutting board. When we grated it. I think that is what's happening. It's soaked in cheesy cutting board. Yeah, click on the smiley face. Should have the emote there. Okay, so now that we are all scraped out, I'm gonna follow all of those natural ridges and cut in between all of them to get our squash chunks. Yeah, Annie for president. We figured it out, Sammy. I think I'm just gonna put it this way down, just because I don't trust the squash as I'm trying to cut. It might fall out. So let's be safe and just slide your knife along each ridge and just kind of guide it through until you get these little squash wedges. It does look better, but I definitely think we need a light for something around that area. I don't really like the shadows that are happening either. But we'll get there. So we want all of our squash wedges to be around the same thickness as well so that they roast up at around the same time. 40 minutes, holy. We better hurry up then. Every time I say, oh yeah, this is gonna be a breeze. Sammy always comes home early. No fudging around, guys. What kind of seafood, Sammy? Yeah. So who's staring at the clock at work today? So this little stem part here, I don't know if we'll be able to cut that out. I think so. Just cut along either side of it, because that's not even going to be able to get cooked down if we roast it. Just take that out. Now next, making crispy cheese, also a great way to get the house to smell really good. Guarantee people would walk in and be like, oh, what are you cooking? What's that smell? Copy pastorino. So Norges, when you go away, does that mean no more watching streams? Is this what you're telling us right now? Oh, cheese is bubbling. No more streams. Finally, he's free. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna roast the squash on the tray with our cabbage or Brussels, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it brassica, the general name for cabbage-related vegetables. And we'll dress it with the olive oil and then the herb salt is what I want to do with it. Move on over. And once again, you don't really want your stuff to touch each other. You want a good little airflow happening. We're gonna miss you, Norges. I hope everything goes well at sea. Okay, so nice little drizzle. Once again, we'll do a little massage to completely coat the squash pieces, and that way they'll roast up really nice and evenly. It is crazy, if you like miss one spot with oil, it'll dry out so quick. Especially with squash, I find. That's one thing where I feel like people don't use enough oil when they roast their vegetables, and then it always ends up dry and kind of chewy. Hey, Nike! Yeah, oil those veggies. Do it. It's bad for morale if someone's hiding in their cabin. That's true. So you have to be social. Yeah, otherwise people are like, well, what's up with that guy? That's like the opposite when you work in a kitchen. If it's quiet, that means everything is like perfect. Or at least you're trusting everyone that they're not fudging around. Okay, that looks good. Sammy, go find something to do. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. Ha ha ha. Go make something awesome. Yes, Davey, exactly. How often do cooks yell at the dishwashers? Not very often. The dishwasher should be like one of the most respected staff in the kitchen. Yeah, nobody yells at dishwashers. You moan at them, Davey? Yeah, sometimes we gotta tell them. Nice little, like, reassurance or guidance to kind of remind them how things should be done. But other than that, there's no yelling. Okay, so our salt. Rosemary, sage, infused Canadian sea salt. thanks, Anchovy. I cook some pretty simple food at home. Or at least I think I do. Maybe it's not super simple, but I like to let most ingredients speak for themselves. So now, nice sprinkle over the squash pieces. And I'm only gonna season the one side, so we can just put a nice even layer over that. And these might shrink up a little bit during roasting. Okay, that's our cheese timer. Just gonna get this salt out of my palm first. And then we'll check it. Go get 'em, Sammy. Go get 'em. Okay, so this is 15 minutes, guys. So you see those bubbles? Look at that fat dripping down. So we're getting there. So I'm gonna turn the tray the opposite way that I had it before. And now I think I'm gonna lower it to maybe 6 minutes. Because I feel like this is gonna cook pretty quickly. We'll just do 6-minute intervals. It would be a shame to burn that for sure. Then you gotta start all over. Your former wife used to make spaghetti squash. I love spaghetti squash. Actually a really good alternative to pasta. And plus it tastes good when you stuff it with like meatballs and tomato sauce. Good healthy food for sure. Yeah, Davey. Parm crisp. So tasty, tasty. I'm sorry about that, Anchovy. I think that happens a lot here. Making you guys hungry while you watch. We have a disclaimer for that. Was that a tray of Parmesan? It's a mix of Parm and Asiago, Trueness. How's it going today? Okay, so we got our salt on our squash. Next up, I think I want to put some pepper. Fresh cracked pepper. You might need some snacks while watching. And then I'm gonna guess that these will take about 15-20 minutes to roast up. We're gonna crank the oven to 450 Fahrenheit. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I want it to get really nice and caramelized. And in order to do that without the vegetables going soggy, you need a really high heat. Thanks for the follow, Anchovy. Although you're not hungry now. You only got that thirst, Annie. You only have the homebrew in the house. Is that the red that you have? Red ale? How much of that do you have left now? How many months has it been since you kegged it, right? Or just bottled? Okay, so that's that. Our circulator is it's already at 100 degrees, so that thing heats up pretty quick. So our gnocchi, I think we can take it out of the package. Oh yeah, Irish red. Yum. Oh, he liked it more than you do. How come you don't like it that much? So yeah, let's check out our gnocchi, just so I can kind of get an idea about what I'm going to be dealing with when it goes to cooking it later. And actually, you know what, guys? I'm going to put the lamb into this as it heats up. I know it'll take a little bit longer, but I think we're a little short on time. So the lamb is now in the circulator. It's okay tasting, but not where you'd like it to be. Okay, Norges, sounds good, man. Yeah, totally understand what you mean. It's like so nice to come home from work and have a clean house and not have to worry about that. You're leaving tomorrow, yeah? So I guess this is goodbye. Goodbye and good luck. Unless you're coming back today for Plate Up. Yeah, Annie, physics teacher. Okay, we're going in. Smells good. Okay, so it has been blanched, for sure. I think I'm just gonna put that onto a plate, kind of spread it out, maybe dry it out a little bit, because they do seem pretty soft. You'll be back in a few. Just lurk mode. Okay, sounds good. The subject that everyone seems to hate. Except for the awesome people. You're modding another stream right now. Brit's trying to tell you that Mexicans and French helped in the Civil War. Oh no, Mikey. The struggle of being a mod, eh? Yeah, we can't help you, man. I think I'm just gonna put the gnocchi onto some paper towel. But these are the size of the little dumplings, so they're nice and bite-sized. And like I said, I've pre-made the dough on a different stream, and obviously I blanched them off, so boiling water. But then I just had a little bit too much for me to make to eat on that stream. So I just vacuum sealed it in the bag. So that all we have to do now is just kind of fry them up. I like when gnocchi has the kind of crispy crust where it's been fried, but you don't have to. You can totally just put it into warmed sauce of sorts as well, but I like the contrast of the textures. Let's check our cheese. This is the most important. The cheese! So that's been 16 minutes now. So we can tell it's getting a little bit more golden, starting to hold together. So I'm gonna rotate this pan one more time, do another 6 minutes, and then we just might be there. Pass one through the screen. A little gnocchi dumpling. I've never actually vac packed them before, so it was also kind of a test to see how that would work, but I think it's okay. So they're still holding their shape. It doesn't seem like they're too mushy or soggy, like they drew in a lot of moisture, so I think it was a little bit of a success. And plus, who's gonna really complain if the gnocchi is irregular shaped? I mean, I'm just thankful to have the gnocchi. Hey Pete, how are ya? Welcome in. Have I done gnocchi on a gnocchi board? Yeah, I have. Do I prefer the ridges? Well, the ridges are always better for helping to soak up the sauce. But I don't know if I actually have a preference or can say that one is better than the other. But the board with the ridges is just kind of really fun to use as well. And it doesn't just have to be for gnocchi. I've also made a type of semolina pasta with that rolling or ridged board as well. And then obviously making gnocchi without the ridges is going to be faster. Okay, that looks good. Definitely get 2 portions out of that. And like I said, they're not too soggy or soft, so I think they'll fry up just right. So I'm going to keep those cool, though, until we have to fry them up. Because I don't think having them sit out at room temp and warm up is going to help the situation. Yeah, exactly, Davey. You can do any shape you really want. It's about bedtime for you. Haha, dreaming about food all night. Nice to meet you as well. I will be on again tomorrow around the same time, cooking up some more dinner. We're doing mussels and clams with green curry. So take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you around. Okay, let's get that into the fridge. Gonna get this tomato sauce into a pan right now. Still has like a touch of frost just on the top, but this is something that we can start to bring up to temp. And that way when we go to heat it up a little bit later, it's gonna heat up really quickly. Nike's lost. Nike, wrong stream. Wrong stream, bro. When your sauce matches the sauce pot. Hey, guys? You're very baked. You got some of that OG? OG Kush. Frozen sauce. But this is the best part, is like if you make a bigger batch of pasta sauce, especially tomato, freeze it in smaller amounts, and then you just have to pull out 1 container. You don't have to have gnocchi. You can totally have dried pasta noodles and boil them. Then you just have to toss them in the pasta sauce, and like that's a meal. To me, that's still better than buying like a frozen Michelinas type thing that you microwave. And I don't want a lot of sauce here today for the gnocchi. So otherwise I think it'll get a little bit soggy. So that's why we only have about 1.5 cups of tomato sauce. So just a nice kind of coating on the gnocchi, but we don't want it really heavy and saucy. So there's that. Chill on the stove top. We can get the other frying pan out for frying the gnocchi beside the sauce. So that's ready to go. And I think maybe we can chop up our garnish for the pasta now while we wait. And other than that, we're looking really good, guys. Like I said, it's a pretty easy stream today. Let's check out cheese. Okay, so it's bubbled up. And you can see here is it's kind of starting to fry up and dry out. So I think we want the whole tray to kind of look like that more bubbled up portion. So let's do another 5 minutes and see what happens. So it's definitely not looking like it's gonna burn. Hey guys, I'm just gonna do a couple of small scallions, can't talk, sliced up really thin for garnish. Could also do parsley, obviously basil is another good one, but it's really hard to find basil here in the winter. That's a tough one. There are so many smells in here right now. The Captain died from the Captain and Tennille singing duo. Muskrat Love. That was his name. R.I.P. Would I know that song even? That was the song name. Their biggest hit. Okay, let's cut the roots off of the scallion. Take off this sad floppy thing. It's a 70s tune. I might know it. Probably heard it on the radio. Once Upon a Time. Okay, now we're gonna line those up. And just use our index finger to guide the knife and make our nice thin slices. So guys, what's everyone eating today? Tell me what's on the menu for you. Leftover chicken. That's not a bad thing. Are you just gonna eat it as is? Or are you gonna transform it into something else? So I'll put our onions into a small container. You ate it cold out of the fridge. He couldn't wait. I would do the exact same thing, probably. There are definitely times where I'm way too lazy to heat up leftovers. It's like, you gotta make the decision if it's gonna taste good, if it's cold or not. Some stuff is better than others for sure, so that can go back into the fridge while we wait. That way it stays nice and crisp. It's not gonna wilt on us. And we're waiting 1 minute on the cheese. The cheese-ums. You need to do a grocery run tomorrow. Nothing in the fridge, hey? You had to resort to canned soup for lunch. Oh my goodness. Well, at least it's forcing you to kind of clear out the pantry. It's always a good thing. Woo! Okay, so that little beep was the ANOVA, the immersion circulator. So that means it's at 125 Fahrenheit. And so at that temp, if you think about any meat that you cook, especially the red meats, let's say, is 125 Fahrenheit is medium rare for internal temp. So that means that as the meat cooks in there, it's not going to get overcooked to like a well done status. So it's going to stay around the medium rare temp so that we don't dry it out at all, and obviously don't make it tough by overcooking it. So that's literally just going to be hanging out in there until we go to plate up later, and then we'll take it out of the bag and slice it up because it's already going to be hot. And I don't think we should cook it any more than that. Like, I wouldn't slice it and then fry it in a pan, because then I think it would totally get dried out. Okay, that should be it for the cheese. Oh yeah, it's looking good. See how I can like lift it and it stays together? So that's what we're looking for. I'm gonna put this on here so we don't burn the board. And what are we at? 645. So I'm gonna start to bump up the oven now while this cools to 450 Fahrenheit. And that way our veggies can get roasted pretty soon here. And then our next step for our crispy cheese, haha, yeah, came back for some cheese action, is I like to just put a paper towel underneath the cheese. You actually should be able to just lift up the whole piece. And that's just gonna take some of that grease out. If you look at me lifting it, so that's what I mean by you're cooking out the fat. So that's that. Craziness. Yeah, boring, Norges. Tax papers? Psh, nobody got time for that. What modifications do I think I'm going to make to my garden next year? That's a good question, Annie. And I was kind of thinking about it the other day. I was like, holy smokes, I'm going to have to start doing like seedlings and stuff pretty soon. Like February, March time is when I'm going to have to start seedlings. So I think I'm going to do 2 pieces of paper towel. You can see how quickly that soaked up the fat. I know I definitely should not plant the Brussels sprouts and eggplants beside each other, which I did last year, and they actually grew just fine, but apparently they both want different pHs of the soil, so I'll keep those separate. But I think I still want to grow both of those things. And yes, Norges, so I don't have any rhubarb, and we have to do a little bit of work in some of the garden beds as well. But right now in the garden, so I still have the kale. I have 2 types of kale, the Swiss chard, half a garden of salad greens still, so they didn't end up freezing to the point of no return the other day, so that made me really happy. And we still just have some beets and carrots. I have a purple sprouting broccoli that is still pretty small. It's just kind of starting to get to the point where it might start bearing fruit of sorts. And then I also have some green onions. So kind of just experimenting with what grows best here in the winter. But it seems like the kales and Swiss chards and stuff do really well and grow quickly still. But the other stuff, like planting beets late in the season, they don't grow that quick. So I think that was kind of a waste of time. Rhubarb is like a weed. Same with blackberries. Same here, Davy. Yeah, blackberries are wild everywhere here. Last year I picked, I think, 5 pounds worth and did lots of preserving. I do love rhubarb, Norges. Yeah, strawberry and rhubarb pie. Oh my gosh, Annie. Okay, so cheese has been drained of the fat. Are you guys ready for this? Look at this thing. Cheese chip extraordinaire. This actually looks really cool. The way that the bubbles formed. So this is how your crispy cheese should turn out. So let's go in for the crack or the snap. Should hear the crunch. It shouldn't be really bendy in the middle, right? That's what we want when we have crispy cheese, is we want it to be kind of delicate. Let's try this. I think we did good. So if it crunches in your mouth when you eat it, you did good, guys. But I'm just gonna leave those in the bigger pieces so I can just kind of tear them off later when it comes to garnishing. Ooh, rhubarb chutney, nice. Yeah, Annie, I definitely have some garden planning to do. It's totally gonna sneak up on me, so I'm gonna try to be really well organized. And I need to start actually ordering some seeds as well. And then the other thing that I want to put into the garden is more edible flowers. More edible wildflowers that I don't really have to take care of, but they're awesome to use year-round. 10 minutes until Sammy is finished. Yes. I have a pretty big garden, Davy. Here, I will give you the link for the Discord server. And then I have a section called gardening in there where I posted quite a bit during the summer. I have 3 raised beds. And then quite a few plants, pots. Plants in pots, which I did tomatoes and peppers in those. Edible flower. Of course Nike would be like, what? What is this I hear? Sweet. Yeah, you can see them. And then the other thing, so we bought a 30-foot cord for one of the webcams. So when it comes to gardening this season I'm going to be doing gardening streams with you guys. Because I think that's something important and like totally part of my stream that I think I would like to share with you. Yeah, garden stream. It should be pretty awesome, Norges, so definitely gonna be more of a dirty stream for sure. But then it would be cool for us to like plant everything together, kind of watch it as it grows, tend to it, probably weekly, I would say. It's like a weekly garden stream, whether we have to water or harvest, etc. And then be able to cook with it on stream later on as well. I think it would be cool to see that whole process. Okay guys, I'm just gonna go take a like 30-second bathroom break. Hold tight. And then I think we're gonna be throwing the vegetables in the oven to roast. It should be hot. Is that brittle? No, this is a crispy cheese, Colt. Crispy cheese, we baked it low and slow. It's Parmesan and Asiago until we basically cooked all of the fat out of it, and then you're just left with the dairy solids. Used to do some small garden jobs on the side during school. Yeah, that was one of my summertime jobs when I was in college. Was I did landscaping for a summer, and I totally loved it. I love being outside. Okay, be right back, guys. Hold down the fort. Between the cheese smell and the smoked pepper paste that's drying, holy smokes. The smell in here. Okay, I also want to share something with you guys that you might be interested in. So another food streamer called Cookery Nation, she's a fellow Canadian as well. She's out in Ontario though. She has made a newsletter for obviously the stream that I need to share with you guys. Because she likes to feature different streamers in it. And she did feature me this month. So let me find it. Cookery Nation, guys. Yeah, Annie, I don't know if you've heard about this newsletter yet. But she does recipes, some cocktail stuff, vegan stuff. Features other streamers and kind of gives you a little behind the scenes thing. So I'm just getting the link for you guys. I'll post it. Copy. Want a recipe so I can use the bananas. They're gonna go into our smoothies, Norges. I have enough bananas for 5.5 days, which is perfect. So there's the link for the third newsletter, actually. There's 2 previous ones. And then my little feature is on page 9. It's a Q&A with Cook with Kate. What recipe were you thinking, Norges? It's for banana herring spread. Are you serious? Banana herring spread. That's interesting, man. I'm trying to think about that combination of flavors. Maybe if you put some spice into it, it would go really well. Nike, you know what? This is probably something I could ship you guys, but honestly, man, it's so easy to make. You could easily make this yourself. I don't know how it would hold up in the shipping either. I'd have to pack it really nicely in a box. Otherwise, it would totally just be dust by the time it got to you. For sure. And then another thing that I want to do on the stream this year is kind of follow the national food holidays. Let's call them that. So looking ahead, so I wrote some down. I wrote all the ones down for January. So on the 7th, when we stream, that is International Tempura Day. So that means that we're going to be making some tempura on stream. Right, Trueness? It's so good, that newsletter. I'm so impressed. She's done so well with it. Herring mayo, mustard, sour cream, paprika, bananas, salt. Interesting. Pack it with popcorn. Yeah. Then you get popcorn and cheese Krispies Lay. The biggest mistakes on stream response? Yep. So good. That happened, Annie. I totally didn't say anything. I was like, I just need to play this out. Play it cool. Good times, right? Can't always be perfect. So clever. I don't even know. Like, was that the proper thing to do? I don't know. People were, like, trying to actually find who this guy was. Like, creeping Instagram and stuff. Like, they were digging deep. They're like, we got a hacker. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. It is okay. Okay, I have not heard from the Sammy. So him being off at this time is an if. He only gets off at this time if it's not busy, obviously. Just a humble cook. So I'm coming up to streaming for 1 year. And I believe it was January 12th. Was the very first stream that I did. I can look back though on my YouTube for sure. And I am planning something for like a stream anniversary. Sammy's been following for a year. Maybe longer. No. Just keep scrolling. Oh, wow. The old kitchen. Published on January 17th, 2018 was the first one. I made Thai Massaman chicken curry, guys. Holy shit. Going back in time. I think I started the channel maybe a week before, just kind of got everything together before I started. My streams usually go anywhere from 2 hours to 5 hours. Norges. You're gonna send stockfish when it's done and dry during the summer, and some dried reindeer? Yes, dude. I will send you some stuff as well. We're gonna be starting to do more and more dehydrator stuff as the weeks go on here. When Sammy did followage, it said 11 months, 30 days. Huh. I don't know then, yeah. I must have kind of started my Twitch thing up a week earlier. Just a humble cook. Are you planning on streaming? And if so, don't be afraid to ask for help. We're all in this together. I do have a full-time job. So I started out streaming 5 days a week. I did Monday to Fridays, I think, for a long, long time, until eventually I had to find a full-time job. So this is where I'm at. I've been working this full-time job since June. So my job at the restaurant, I work 12-hour days, so I can't really stream on the days that I work. Yeah, June already. I can't believe it, Annie. Started at Wild Mountain in June, but that was only part-time. I was only doing prep stuff, so I was still streaming, I think, 4 days a week. Now I can stream 3 days. But when it comes back to summertime hours, the restaurant's open 5 days, so it's gonna be sad times, unless can sweet talk chef a little bit, and we can stream from the restaurant. I just don't know if he's gonna go for it or not. Just gotta do it when the timing's right, or just kind of sneaky put my phone up one day in the kitchen. Don't say anything, just let it happen. See what happens. Oh, you've done 3 streams so far. Okay. I'm gonna give you a follow right now. And you guys should all give him a follow as well. Norges, you might post some photos on the Discord when you're at work. Yes, please do. That way we'll know you're alive and well. Maybe some orcas in nature. I would love that. You know me. Love being by the water. Depends on the Wi-Fi. That's true. Yeah, working in the restaurant industry and streaming is brutal. Just have to be really organized, I find, is the best way to do it. Norges can rent the kitchen. Yes. Yeah. Are you streaming? Why do you ask, chef? Well, you have a GoPro strapped to your chef's hat. Sorry, I didn't realize it was up there. Now, the way that my station is set up at work is my back faces Chef and Scott while they're prepping. So, like, I have my own little counter and a sink, and then they prep behind me on, like, the main line. So, like, if I could set my phone up on my shelf, it could be just perfect. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Okay, no word from Sammy yet. The oven's hot. We're waiting. If you work in an open kitchen, the cleanliness goes up most of the time. Swearing and yelling goes down. Yep. Yeah, we are very clean and also really quiet. So, like, that would be a really peaceful stream. There's definitely times where we're working and there's just nothing. You guys would just hear chopping. But we get silly sometimes, too. I mean, there's literally only 3 of us together. It's crazy how I still see them more than I see Sam during the week. It's like, if you spend 60 hours with people per week, gotta make sure that you get along with them well. The nature of the beast. You don't see people for a month. Yeah. That's a nice little break, hey? I'm just gonna go grab a cookbook, guys. Like I said, I wanted to do more cookbook cookery on stream. So I'm just gonna take the cheese out of there for a sec. Sorry. I'm sure you guys were really enjoying that. So I think the first book that I want to cook out of for the new year is Simple Book. Simple food is the best. It's definitely one of my mottos in the kitchen. Just a humble cook. I work at a slow food restaurant called Wild Mountain Dinners. Just bring up the link for you. So, nice little tiny restaurant that's right on the water. Oh, Norges. But here, I'll post this anyways. I'm sure you would want to know. I don't think that worked, did it? That's not the right one. You actually go north of the Arctic Circle. So how cold does it get, Norges? You already live north of it. Fair enough, then. I'm sorry that my geography skills are not good. This note is the greatest. Yeah, long summer days. Oh, the Northern Lights. So this is what I get. A note in my cookbook. Please share this book with me. Of course. So obviously we're not going to read the whole book together. But what kind of meal do we feel like making out of this? So you guys know that I typically cook brunch on Sundays, so that's like one of the first things in here. Or do we want to do something like grains or rice? Or maybe more pasta? But then we also have meat, seafood, and dessert. It's not that bad at the coast. The raw air can be really nasty with cold weather. I believe it. Like minus 45 Celsius inland. Oh my God. I've lived through that. Ooh, a soup. Okay, I don't know if there is soup. Let's see. Let's go to the index. There's no soup section, guys. But I'm sure there is a soup of sorts. Okay, soups. Definitely not the chilled cucumber. That will be like a summertime thing. Curried lentil, tomato, and coconut. Always a good go-to. Pumpkin, saffron, and orange. Or zucchini, pea, and basil. I'm definitely a fan of the curried soups. And then, let me look at the brunch stuff. Love this. Brunch. Simplest egg ever. You saw an Arctic menu cookbook when you were cleaning. So I love to make like baked skillets for brunch. You guys ever do that at home? Like doing some eggs baked in tomato sauce with cheese? Really, really good. Braised eggs with leek and za'atar. Annie, no, but now I want to. So harissa and manchego cheese omelets. That's something we've not done on stream, but you know why we haven't done it? Is because Sammy doesn't love scrambled eggs. And speaking of the Sammy, let's see where he's at. He doesn't like scrambled eggs. I don't know. He says it's because he made too many frittatas in the restaurants for brunch. And I can understand that for sure. This one looks good. Zucchini and ciabatta. Zucchini and ciabatta frittata. I love scrambled eggs, but I love them more when they have cheese on them for sure. That one looks good. Really nice and simple. Portobello mushrooms with brioche and poached eggs, guys. Look at that photo. Nice runny yolk. Grilled mushrooms on some buttery toast. These are really healthy recipes. Okay, here's our soups. Raw veg, no. Definitely going to be a summertime one. Look at that salad. Tomato, sumac, shallot, pine nuts. And then guess what we're doing? So I don't know if you guys saw what the menu is yet for Sunday. Yeah, Norges. But Sunday, we're rolling into an Eggs Benedict again. How can you not? So the Eggs Benedict this week is the bottom. So instead of the English muffin, I'm going to be making some potato latkes. Basically potato pancakes fried in oil until they're really nice and crispy. So that's the bottom part of the Benny. And then I'm going to be using some sliced pea meal bacon for the meat. Okay, Sammy says he's just heading to get the seafood. Okay, perfect. Everything's timing out. So pea meal bacon, which is basically a brined pork loin, which is then cooked and coated on the outside with cornmeal. And then we'll poach the egg, and then I'm gonna be making a crab and preserved lemon hollandaise. That's breakfast on Sunday. Pretty excited about that one, guys, I have to say. Yeah, the ride home is totally quicker at this time than 5 p.m., Annie. And that's kind of why Sam switched up his line of work, is so that he doesn't have to drive with the masses of people. So it's literally only one road to get out to where we live. And if there's an accident, there's no shoulder on the road. It's literally carved through the rock on the island. So things get fudged up pretty quick. So I'm going to throw the vegetables into the oven now. They're already dressed, ready to go. And I'm going to set a 10-minute timer and see where we're at that point. You think I should cook surströmming and eggs? I don't even know what that is. Let me look this up. What? The stinky Swedish fish? Why? Sammy would be a happy man. I don't know about that, guys. Did I even say it right? Surströmming. Swedish for sour herring? That might ruin herring for me forever, though. Yeah, even Posh would be like, nope. That's a no. I could see it. Okay, veg in the oven. 10 minutes. Let's see where we end up. Oh. That's the message from the Sammy. He says, guys, do we need anything else from the store? I don't think so. Don't think so. Nor just do you eat surströmming? Have you eaten this before? We need beer. Yeah, that's the only thing. Actually, we have a beer. We have a beer in the fridge. And this could actually be really good with dinner. Hoyne Brewing, local. Finnegan's Irish Stout. It's only 5.1%. Shrimp cocktail, Funyuns, pizza rolls, mint chocolate chip ice cream. This is all stuff we need. Sammy would be like, what? He'd say, I think she lost it again. Yeah, yes, we need this. Okay, I'm gonna peek at the dehydrator stuff. Oh, wow. She's drying real quick. So check this out. What time did we put these in? Maybe a couple hours ago? Well, we've only been on for almost 2 hours. But look at this. So you can already see through. It's already drying out that much. And up here, like, it's already dusty, powdery. That's not gonna take 18 hours. So I'm gonna check that one more time before I go to bed. And then we'll see. But that's drying out really quick. Rotten. Yeah, rotten food, not quite on the list yet. I think I'm with you on that, Norges. And then our lemons. So they're just kind of starting to curl, some of the smaller pieces. And they're dry, definitely on the outside. So that's been an hour and a half. Going pretty quick. You hope you get a halibut in the herring net. Ooh. I've been wanting to make some ceviche, man. I'm having a hankering for it. Okay, real quick, guys. So we need to shake this up. This is our limoncello that we're making with gin. So Meyer, oh, you can't see it. Meyer limoncello. So we started this on December 23rd. This is gonna take 2 months. So all I do every week, shake the bottle up. It's literally just Meyer lemon peels and gin. And then what it says, so it says for it to be, let's say, done, or like properly infused is the word, is the lemon peels are gonna turn white or clear. So they're actually going there already. Well, that might happen sooner than we think. And if I smell it now, literally just smells like Meyer lemon juice. There's no like alcoholic nose on it at all. So it's gonna be exciting. Hopefully we can get a Thirsty Thursday sometime soon. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, guys. Try it out. Woo! Oh yeah. Hey, we roasting real nice. The cabbage leaves or the Brussels leaves are already starting to brown on the tips. Just got the shellfish, yeah. Fresh mussels and clams. Round 2, guys. Round 2. Okay, I'm gonna get some butter out for our gnocchi. I believe this container is just like previously melted butter. Might as well use it up. Basically, clarified butter. Because if we look at this, so I just took the butter out. So all the milk's in the bottom. So that means that this thing of butter is actually clarified. There's no more dairy in it. So it's just pure butter. Basically ghee, if you know what that is. Have some crystallized caramel, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon sticks, and some whiskey vodka. Nice. Wow, that sounds so good. Lamb today, seafood tomorrow. But you know what, Annie? I'm still clearing out the freezer tomorrow. By doing the shellfish is I pulled out a green curry sauce. So I just broke half of that butter into the pan. So Thai green curry sauce I pulled out of the freezer for that. And also the shellfish broth from last time we did the mussels that I saved. So that's going to be a pretty fun and quick stream as well. Yeah, cold chicken leftovers for Annie. R.I.P. Okay, so there's still 3 minutes on the timer, but I just want to show you guys what is happening in here. She's going real quick. All of the things are happening. So check out our cabbages, how much they're browning already. They're getting a little bit floppy too. So I think I'm good with that amount of crisp on those bottom leaves. So now maybe if I turn it over, it might kind of sit flat. Darker green, yeah, there's caramelization. Just the lighting is kind of terrible for you guys to be able to see. I think we should definitely flip it now. Maybe even spread it out like that one. But we want to catch it before it starts to burn, right? You just want caramelization. And then nothing too crazy happening with the squash yet. But they are sizzling up nice. I think I might actually turn it so that the squash is at the back of the oven now. So a little switcheroo. I'm gonna do 5 more minutes and then we'll check the cabbage again. Just because we don't want to overcook it too much. We're getting there. Broiling, no steam. 450 Fahrenheit. So just really high temp. Norges. Imagine an oven at 450 Celsius. It might burn. 48,000, Annie, that's nothing. He used to have like 250,000. I don't know though. I don't know if you guys saw the whole New York New Year's Eve thing with Ninja, but it didn't look like things went well. It was like no one was doing his little pon-pon dance with him. It was pretty sad to watch. That subs though. I don't know, I don't think he puts his sub count up anymore. You saw some cringe clips, me too. Yeah, I had to look, I was like, what happened? I thought it was gonna be pretty big. It was not. Okay guys, does anyone have any requests for dinner meals next week? Or I guess it's gonna be lunch or dinner. So I know you guys said you wanted soup, but I'm not feeling the soups that were in that cookbook. I can grab another book though. Definitely not the issue. I would like to look at this book as well. Homegrown New England food. That's kind of similar to the food here. Obviously coastal, a little bit different in the ingredients, but at least I'm still able to get similar ingredients. Send a link to the cookbook online so that you can see the index. Which one, Annie? The Otto Lange one? You want this one? Let me get that for you. There's that. Lee, at what temperature does paper burn? 451 Fahrenheit, just like the book. Set the oven to 450, throw it in the boxes with the pizzas. I don't think they're that precise. Nope. You saw a documentary with some old people on holiday. They cooked some frozen pizza with the plastic on. Why? Why? What? Mikey Two-Tone with the raid. Welcome in, guys. We are just kind of rolling into getting cooking our dinner. Currently roasting some Brussels sprout tops, let's call them that, from my garden, as well as some acorn squash. The cornbread with cheddar, jalapeno, and feta sounds good as a side. Heck yes, it does. Annie, we're going to be doing up a smoked brisket on stream pretty soon here. And we have promised my grandma that we would take it over to her. So that's going to be happening as soon as the weather kind of cooperates with us when we do a stream. Brisket and cornbread, happiness. Mikey, how is the stream? Menu idea, boar collar. Okay, writing it down. I will message the butcher shop Steam and see what they say. So what, you want me to do a remake of the boar collar that we ate in Portland? Pock Pock. That was so good, hey man? Okay, now let's check our cabbage, because she is getting a little bit too dark, it looks like. What do you think? Of course it's worth a shot. I think I could probably recreate that flavoring. So squash isn't really browning up too much right now, and if we look at the cabbage, terrible angle as far as lighting goes. So look at those outer leaves of the cabbage, or the Brussels sprout tops. This one, let's see. I can literally, it's like a chip. It doesn't taste burnt though. But I think I'm gonna take those off right now. Because even if I feel the actual bulb of the cabbage, it feels nice and tender. So then we can spread out the squash more and probably just broil it so we can get some color onto it. So let's just put that onto a plate. I haven't really thought about how I want to serve that cabbage yet. This might be another one of those family style things going on. But I like the way that the leaves crisped up. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't know if you guys have ever pushed your cabbage or kale or even cauliflower and broccoli to that point of caramelization, but it really does make this intense kind of roasty flavor going on. Way better than soggy cabbage for sure. So, acorn squash, cooking it with the skin on. We had it at 450 Fahrenheit. I just don't think it's quite hot enough. Annie, grilled lamb fillets with almonds and orange blossoms. Is that in the book as well? Yes. Thanks for the follow, Mikey. And also thank you for the raid. Hey, Ryan. How are you? Your favorite veggie? Which one? Which one, Mikey? Under Middle Eastern feast. Okay. You know what, guys, with the broil, so I gotta be right in front of the oven if I'm gonna broil this. Because parchment paper, like Lee was saying earlier, will burn in the oven, especially under the broiler, so I just gotta make sure that it doesn't burn. But I do want to brown up the squash. Yeah, Rook, we are doing some dehydrator stuff. So I didn't have the dehydrator on stream because it's large and in charge. But I did a tray of Meyer lemons sliced up, so I'm going to dry those out. And then, Rook, I also took the fermented pepper paste from the smoked hot sauce that we made. And I spread that out onto a tray with parchment under it. I'm going to dry that out and then blend it up to make a spice mix. Hey, member, what's up? We got some sizzles. Okay, so while that's going, we're getting pretty close to eating, so I'm just going to start to melt that butter in our frying pan. Did I get the silicone trays? I don't have any of the silicone trays for the paste. I just cut a parchment paper piece to put under the mesh. And it works really well like that. I'm being one of those little kids peeking in the oven right now. It's like, is it ready yet? I think I'm just gonna swivel the tray. Make sure we get some even browning action. I don't know if you guys can hear those sizzles, but she be sizzling up real nice. Maybe 30 more seconds. Ah, that's true. Yeah, as long as the temp is not too high. Hey, Fat Keys. The sounds of sizzling. It looks like we're cooking fancy. Ah, I feel like it's not that fancy what we're doing, but I could be wrong. Maybe my idea of fancy is a lot different than yours. Okay, I'm happy with that. Still not super caramelized though, but I just don't want to make the squash too mushy. So if we keep this in the oven, you can kind of see there where the sugars from the vegetables were starting to burn on the paper. I think if we keep this in the oven and just keep it warm while we fry up our gnocchi and finish everything off, we might get a little bit of color from that. Yeah, we're always fancy. Okay, so I'll also turn on our tomato sauce. So tomato sauce is here. So we can just do a nice medium heat for that. And then basically the point we're at now. So guys, you can see that I kind of fooled around with how the stove cam looks. That way we can see all the burners. Let me know what you think of that layout. I know the camera is quite a bit smaller. But yeah, we're gonna basically just roll into frying our gnocchi, tossing it in the warm tomato sauce, slicing our lamb, and plating our vegetables over the gnocchi. Easy peasy. All the great cooks say what they are cooking isn't fancy because they know they throw down on everything. I love that. Yeah, just trying to sound modest. Yeah, the steam hole on this sauce pot is awesome, hey? Okay, so our butter is definitely hot. You can see it just bubbling up there. But I don't want to burn it or brown it too much before we put the gnocchi in. So we want it to kind of brown up as we fry the gnocchi in it. And then that way, we'll get a nice kind of crispy exterior. But I think I'm going to switch it over to this so you guys can see it a little bit better. We're getting there, guys. Oh, and speaking of soup, so I don't know why this just came to my head, Annie and Nike, but I have some duck broth in the freezer, and I'm feeling like we should make a ramen of sorts with that. If you guys want soup. Yeah, Lay. We're also hoping the steam doesn't obscure it too much. We'll see. I mean, I used to have my cam basically mounted right here over top, and it never really affected the webcam. But we'll see if it affects this camera at all. depending on what type of cooking we're doing as well. Norges. Ramen, hell yeah. I know, I was just gonna say that. I was like, well, you're not even gonna be here. But he's going for it. Duck ramen. And apparently there's a place in Chinatown here where a guy does hand-pulled alkaline noodles. Ooh, or, since Norges just said it, why don't I try my hand at making ramen noodles? Googler. Hand-pulled ramen noodles. What do we need? You had a tempopo. What is tempopo? I've never heard of that. Tempopo ramen party for your 25th birthday. Yup. Oh, ramen is love. It's like one of my favorite soups. So, what causes hand-pulled noodle dough to be flexible and stretchy? Increased water to dough ratio, addition of salt, continual kneading and twirling of the dough. So, obviously the kneading is the hardest part. Hand-pulled noodle dough. Literally just gonna copy and paste this for you guys. Tempopo. Japanese movie around cooking at a ramen shop. Cool. This is what I found. 167 grams high gluten flour. So that might be a tough one for me to find. But I do have a pretty good Asian market here. Taijing Fen. I'm gonna bookmark this site. You guys want ramen? We will get ramen. So the good thing is we can knead the dough in a stand mixer. That way my arms won't be broken afterwards. You gotta rest it for 15 to 20 minutes to let the gluten relax. And then twist it for 15 to 20 minutes. This is gonna be a feat. I like a challenge though. Just add gluten to normal flour. You can just buy gluten on its own. Let us see. You've seen it done. He's got proof. Amazon, what do you tell me? Vital wheat gluten? That's different. Yeah, Indog. Sounds like sorcery. The gluten-free souls. That's what it will cost. Okay, so duck ramen. Next week. So that will be a Tuesday dinner stream. Just because the broth will take a couple of hours to make properly. Can't rush ramen, that's for sure. This ain't no Mr. Noodles. You just searched Amazon for gluten too. Nothing really came up, hey? But I wonder if that high gluten flour, Taijing Fen, would come up if we searched that. Nope. Just a bunch of fans. Just getting yelled at. Yes, Annie. How to convert AP flour to bread flour. You just have to add some vital wheat gluten, that's all it is. 1 teaspoon of vital wheat gluten to 1 cup of AP flour. And that way you get more glutinous. Now we know. So to get high gluten flour, you probably have to add more. I wonder if I can find the complete Asian style high gluten flour at the market though. Probably. Probably, guys. Okay, I feel like Sammy's gonna be walking in pretty quick here. I'm gonna get this gnocchi frying. How is this? The lighting's pretty good. I just want to test this for a sec. See what kind of glare happens. Yeah, I don't like those glare parts in the front. So I'm going to turn the butter to like a medium-high temp. You want it pretty hot. You don't want it too low because then it's not going to fry up. It's just going to kind of like cook it slowly and it might fall apart. So nice high heat on the butter so that we can actually get some color and caramelization on the outside of our little potato dumplings. Red Spring wheat. We got lots of that flour out here. Or should I just buy some bread flour? Could totally just pick up some bread flour. Potassium bromate. So, here's our gnocchi on the plate. You think that has more gluten than bread flour? I think so. I think I agree with you on that one. And I think our tomato sauce is real good. Thought I heard some sizzling. So tomato sauce is definitely nice and hot. I'm going to turn that down to low now. Don't really want to reduce it too much. Just need it warm so we can toss the gnocchi in it when it's done. I'm just going to give it a taste, see if it needs anything. You can buy the Red Spring wheat flour on Amazon. That sauce is really rich tasting. Really nice. It coats the palate really well. Guys, I honestly don't think the sauce needs anything. It's got a good little basil kick because we blended in the fresh basil at the end when we made it on stream. It's got a little bit of sweetness for sure, but I don't want to make it too salty because we have some salty garnishes with the cheese. Okay, we got some poppin' action over here. Not too crazy of a sizzle yet when I tested that little dumpling, so a couple more seconds and then we should be good to go. Love the sound of those butter bubbles. Butter bubbles. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know why there's a dog barking at the door. What's going on? There we go. And once again, you don't want to overcrowd the pan. You might be able to sneak in a couple more though. Sammy's home. Must be. I don't know what the heck's happened. Usually it comes down this way though. Nice. We're already getting a little bit of color. That's good. Yum. So once those are kind of browned up on both sides, so we're going to flip them in probably a minute or so, then we'll just start to drop them into this sauce. I think it's important to get that little bit of fried flavor onto there. Otherwise the gnocchi is just going to kind of be mushy and fall apart. Especially with a sauce like a tomato sauce is more heavy. Guys, using tongs feels weird. I never thought I would say this, but I'm used to using tweezers now. What happened to me? There was a time when I was cooking in restaurants, and I was like, I will never plate with tweezers. What have I become? Everything I said I wouldn't be. I don't know how I feel about that, but look at that color on there. And the recipes on hand-pulled noodles use various types of flours that's confusing from a chemistry perspective. Dough made from high gluten flour is more elastic and less extensible, which doesn't sound like a good candidate for hand-pulled. Hand-pulled noodles are normally made with low to medium gluten flour, cake flour. I have some of that in the pantry. Alkalines like lye water or baking soda are added to soften the hard flours. You use much less for soft flour. Elastic may not be the word you want. Supple is what you want. Huh. Very interesting. Needs to be able to pull and not break. I could see that stream going really bad or really good. Okay, we're frying up real nice, guys. So, like I said, I'm going to start to plop those into our hot sauce. But I don't just want to pour it, so I don't want to pour the butter from the pan into the sauce. I'm just going to take them out one by one. I'm just going to turn it down a touch, I think. That's getting a little bit too golden. But this should also cool off the pan. now that we're adding more cold dumplings in. But the good thing is that they're not falling apart. They're holding their shape. I'm gonna open a window, I think. Let some air in. Indog, you love your supple noodles. You guys, all these purple knives in chat. Freaking awesome. The blue one really does stand out as well merges. Yeah, Annie, you are now head of research for the stream. All the years working on your doctorate were good for something. Phew. Phew. Okay, let's check these. Whew. How did I know? That internal chef timer. That one didn't brown up that nice. All the butter is going to this one side of the pan. Okay. Guys, the ground is uneven. Time to shim the stove. I think so. You can totally tell now. It's like got a good little slant on it. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that off because I think we are good. The dog is just freaking out upstairs. I don't know what's going on. She's upset. Okay, check this out, guys. This is some good looking stuff. Yum. That butter. I don't think I'm gonna pour all that butter into the tomato sauce. Yes, baby. So, by having the gnocchi like kind of just in the sauce, you know that it's not gonna get too soggy as it sits there. No one likes soggy gnocchi. And I'm not gonna toss it all together until right before we eat. I have a feeling Sammy's gonna be rolling in any time though. So for now, that can just chill right there. Now I'm gonna kind of think about plating. So I don't know if I want a plate per se. So it's gonna be pretty saucy. All right, sounds good, Annie. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna be streaming around the same time as today. Thai green curry, mussels, and clams. Oh, and I'm making homemade baguette tomorrow is what's going down with it. So homemade bread, yum yum. Hope you have a wonderful night, man. Take care. Thank you for the gifted subs today as well. Ryan, you found a recipe for muffins that has 22 ingredients? That is crazy. Yes, I heard the Sammy coming down the stairs. It's time. Let's get this lamb. It is time. Sammy has arrived. Just gonna dry off this bag. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, rotisserie lamb leg from the 26th.
Hi everyone.
Annie's just heading out.
You want to see what I did to my head?
Oh no. Okay, before we get into the meat stuff.
You guys ready?
Hello, biker.
You guys ready? So this is what I did to my hand.
Oh, it doesn't. It looks really good today, actually.
Yeah, you healed it really well already.
Wow.
I heal fast.
The Sam Crow. I love that. Okay, let's cut into this.
No, actually, gravel. I fell off my bike on a bridge, and then my ass hit the dirt, and gravel cut my hand here, wrist here, or elbow here, and my knee.
He's going down.
But I'm okay. I still worked that day. I still biked the rest of the way to work, and
so guys, still have a little bit of red color in there. This is good. This is why we heated it up this way, but look at these juices though. I think that should go into the tomato sauce.
Oh, the dehydrator is good.
Yeah, we're doing stuff. So, let's just pour that into our gnocchi. Just put this little bit of lamb aside and grab a slicing knife.
Oh, these are cool. That's not what I wanted though.
Oh, that was the only thing I saw that it was second skin.
They used to have just like a bottle that you could like paste stuff onto your body.
Oh.
So we had it last house anyways.
And I'm gonna cut this in half here, or
Okay.
maybe even into different sections.
I do have pain meds.
Yeah, Sammy's got pain meds. He'll be okay.
I got that lettuce.
And this way it'll be
Yeah, have a slice.
easier to eat. Yeah,
You need to try some.
but I don't want to give you the presentation one.
Sure.
That's all fat.
Yeah.
So this was in the circ for, I think, just an hour. So there we go, guys.
Yum.
It's not dry?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to slice this really nice and thin. So that you shouldn't really need a fork and knife to eat it with the pasta. I might just cut the piece down in half this way before I plate it. Why are you showing?
That's my knee.
This is a food channel. No one wants to see this. Freaking guys.
What?
Freaking guys.
Everyone cares about me.
This was the lamb leg. Exactly, Norges. So, lamb leg round 2. Mmm.
That sounds better.
A lot of flavor really went into there when we backpacked it. Wow. That's really good.
Yeah. Really, really, really good.
So, garlic and herbs is what's in there. Sammy leg and a lamb leg. Yeah, this is what's going on. A convoy of boats heading for the fishing fields. It's gonna be nuts. So this is Norge's last stream for a while. He's going working fishing for a month.
Oh, crazy.
Herring and then cod.
Cool.
Yeah. So here's the squash, guys.
Can we have some salt cod when you're done baking it?
Yeah, he said he's gonna send some.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
So these are still hot. It's a good thing about squash is it's pretty sweet. So all that sugar will retain a lot of heat. I think that's good for now. And then this crazy roasted cabbage catastrophe. So we get to decide kind of how we want to break it down. And I think I'm just gonna take the leaves off that are really nice and crispy. And then now if we look at it, so now we can see that there's a couple of little Brussels sprouts in there. They're actually perfectly cooked. I just need a little bit of seasoning. But I think I want to take those off, mix them in with the gnocchi and tomato sauce, and then use the crispy leaves as kind of a garnish. So that's basically just the stem. And then we have that little kind of perfect roasted cabbage as well from the center part. So what's gonna happen if we cut this in half? Literally just a big old Brussels sprout. But that coloring looks awesome. So that's basically all the stuff we need as far as plating goes. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt on these Brussels things. It's not a catastrophe, it's blackened cabbage. It's like caramelized. Cabbage chips. It's like kale chips, but it's cabbage chips. You know what else we could do for that is the leftover butter from the gnocchi. Okay. Okay. Now we get to build. So I'm gonna go with the white bowl today. Yeah, Sammy eating cam coming up. He's actually in the shower currently. Close that window now. She's chilling, cooling off in here. Okay, so I'm going in with the gnocchi first. Put that on the bottom of our bowl. Let's switch over there. I'm sure you guys want to see that. Yum. So the sauce should basically just kind of glaze the pieces of gnocchi. And it's totally okay if not all of them are sauced. Get a little bit of contrast there. So I'm gonna go with a portion like that. Still steaming. And then we will build our bowl. So the lamb, I want to get a nice kind of little fan action happening. So I'm going to take like 5 nice pieces. Just going to do that. Maybe 6. feeling this last piece here. Just fill it up. And now, so our roasted cabbage leaves, just kind of start to stack those in there. I'm gonna do a little quarter piece of that nice little center Brussels sprout. Drop a couple of the baby roasted ones in. So that's how we're looking so far. Rook! Just saw that you're leaving. Okay, man. We're gonna log off for now. Have a great night. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye!
And then our acorn squash that we roasted with the skin on. So I like to leave them, I think, in those bigger pieces. I think I'm only gonna go with probably 3. Because we also still want to be able to tell what the heck we're eating underneath all these veggies. So just kind of let it peek out. And then I just need to quickly wipe that plate. Beard eating cam. I told Sammy, I'm like, every time you eat there, I die laughing. Like, if I watch the VOD after, that's all I can watch is like the beard eating stuff. The best. You're good to go, Sammy. You know what, guys? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna like prop up this a little bit. You guys can get more of an angle. But I will eventually need my phone back from under there. What do we got on there? There we go. So just that little bit of scallion that we chopped up or sliced up earlier. Definitely not really needed here. And then some of our fresh grated cheese. Just want to get that over the gnocchi so it melts a touch. And then our Crispies. The crisp. Are we ready? Just do this. That's it. Done. Done plating. No, but actually, we're just gonna rip off or break off little pieces. Yeah, that's a nice appetizer for Sammy.
I'm home, I'll fix the camera now.
How do we want to do this one? Maybe like that. What you mentioned? Just a little bit of everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys.
Tastes like craft dinner.
It tastes like craft dinner. Thank you. You know what I think we need still? Ouch.
Some good crunch.
It's a good crispy cheese. If you don't cook it enough though, it won't crunch like that. I'm just gonna get a little bit of glaze on the lamb. It's looking a little dull. Just a little bit more butter on the lamb.
Are you excited to go fishing, Georges?
Okay, photo time. This is what we're looking at though. Gnocchi in the bottom. Sorry that the lighting is not better.
See, I can't go in the ocean, so I couldn't even ask to come with you. Me and the sea don't like each other.
Broken Sammy. That's what that would be.
I'm glad that you're excited to go.
Get out of there.
How long do you have off for Christmas holidays? I had a day off, so Christmas holidays aren't long for me. I had Christmas off. That is it. Those are the big Brussels sprouts on the top?
Yeah.
It's good.
They're really good, hey? Just like cabbage.
There's a lot of salt on that.
What?
The outside.
It was the blue cheese salt, so it was really cakey. Sammy got the salt bomb, guys. See, I warned you about that. Holy shit. I'm dying. Oh, man.
That's not what you want to put in your mouth. Hey, how about I cook this great food for you? Oh, salt! How about salt? Now she beats me. Look at, like, she cooks bad food and I get in shit for it.
Looks can be deceiving. Okay, guys, let's get into
Holy
this.
salt. There's enough salt there for like a cow lick.
He's still going. You got your cow lick? You're good?
I haven't even tried a gnocchi yet.
Haven't even tried a gnocchi net. Well, what are you doing?
Gnocchi net?
Gnocchi net.
Excuse me.
I haven't even tried one either.
Good gnocchi.
Yum. We got some cheese on there, obviously.
Everything else is really good.
Mmm. Mmm. Yeah, exactly, Norges. Grow up. Grow up, Sammy.
If you guys ever not see me on stream, you know what happened.
He got the arsenic. Okay, the gnocchi is awesome, guys. So obviously, it's not super crunchy on the outside anymore because we sauced it. You still get that nice toasted buttery flavor. And then it kind of soaked up a little bit of the tomato sauce.
And tomorrow, fresh seafood.
Nice. Nice little bag.
Didn't have any nice oysters today. So no oysters this week.
Yeah, everyone's gonna ask, hey, where's Sammy at? Oh, he went fishing with Norges. He's never seen again. Fishing. Okay, let's try some of this lamb. Think about it. I mean, reheated lamb, probably not that appealing, but when you do it in the circulator, you can control the temp that it gets cooked to.
Sam goes fishing with Dorges. Sam is the fish bait for the fish. Blah.
Yeah.
Okay, fishing's good.
Like, that's more tender than the first day that we ate the lamb. I have to say.
I have not watched that movie. You got peppers or something in here?
Yeah, the smoked hot sauce pulp.
Man, it just smells like Chipotle's.
I know, it's really good. Right, you're gonna go watch a TV show with Mom. Sounds good, man. Thanks for being here. Take care. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Cheese crispy. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Brussels sprout. Mmm. That's a good combo. And now our little crispy cabbage leaf. I want to try that with a piece of gnocchi. Now it's getting messy, guys. See that? The gnocchi has been soused. Mmm. The flavor of the roasted cabbage is so perfect with the tomato sauce. Ooh, Sammy. Sammy's playing. And then our acorn squash. Let's see if it's sweet and salty. And then let's also see how the skin turned out. One of the few squashes you can eat with the skin on. Always a good thing. There's going to be more nutrients in there for you. Mmm. It's just really buttery. Basically at the point where it just melts away in your mouth. Even the skin. Like, there's really not much chewing involved. And then you really do get a good hit from the sage and rosemary salt. So all those herb flavors really come through. I'm gonna have one more piece of lamb. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. This was something that I just kind of made up in my head to try and clear out the freezer. Came together. I had my vision. I feel good about how it played out. If this was on a menu somewhere, would you guys order it?
But I like lamb. Just no salt bomb chips. That's about it.
No salt bomb cabbage chips? It was the blue cheese salt too.
Yours is fine. Just mine?
That was pretty salty. Hell yeah, dog.
Looks better?
Mm-hmm. Except we just get the little side of the power, but that's just because I have the dehydrator plugged in, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it in the scene before, so you might just have to move the camera a little bit over. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna call it a night. Coming up to 3 hours together. Feel good with that. That's good, Sammy. Don't go anymore.
Okay, I did. Stop. Okay, we're all good now.
And I see that Just a Humble Cook is on. What? Why didn't they tell me that we had the same knives?
Same knife.
Okay, someone has the same knife as me. Let's do this. So we're gonna go raid Just a Humble Cook. I think they said they only streamed twice before this. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna start around 4 or 5 p.m. PST again.
Okay, bye everyone. Have a great night. Norges, stay safe on the ocean. Have fun. Catch lots of fish. Eat lots of fish. And everyone else have a great start of their week. So
Sammy's out.
I'm out.
Okay, so stream tomorrow is dinner again. And we're steaming up some fresh mussels and clams, so I'll show you guys how to prepare those. We've done it once before on stream a couple of weeks ago, but we did it for lunch, so it's a little bit different timing as far as schedule. And we're gonna be doing it kind of Thai green curry style with homemade baguette. Yes, take care, Norges. I hope everything goes well for you, man. We'll definitely miss you around here, and try and keep us updated in Discord. Yeah, and dog. When work weeks start on a Wednesday. Well, I actually only work Friday, Saturday this week. And then have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. So it's a really quick week for me. So we'll be back in no time. Okay, going to raid Just a Humble Cook. Currently professional chef for 12 years who lives in LA. Let's do this. Okay guys, we're going in. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good night and or day wherever you are. Keep cooking and eating good food. Let's go. Bye.